Hello, folks. This is Captain Rich of the 100-foot party fishing boat, the Golden Eagle, located in the Belmar Marina. We are available to go fishing every day from 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 or 3. And then in the summertime, we go on afternoon sunset cruises and fishing trips from usually 4 to 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock. We're also available for party cruises anytime in the afternoons, any afternoon you want. But before I get into too much about the Golden Eagle, let me just go back a little bit and give you the history. The Golden Eagle came some in the mid-'80s, later 80s, 1986. And I worked on the boat then. At that time, I was a CFO at Bed Bath & Beyond, and I worked at Tiffany's in their finance department. Eventually, I got to the point about 10, 12 years ago when I just said, to hell with corporate America, let me just buy the boat and off we go. But even before the Golden Eagle, there was a boat called the Lenny. Some of you may remember that because I still recognize some customers on the Golden Eagle that fished with us on the Lenny. You know, that was there from when I was 10 years old. And there was a version of the Lenny before that. So the Lenny's been around forever. It was the Leonard family in Belmar. And then I worked for them since I was 11, and one of their or nephew, I should say, is also involved in the Golden Eagle now. Len Forsythe. He's not here today because he's out fishing, but he will be here in future podcasts. So let me go over a little bit about the Golden Eagle. Like I said before, it's a 100-foot boat. She's big. She's fast. She's got a lot of amenities. Fully air-conditioned cabin. In the cooler weather, it's fully heated. Large upper deck to go up, just sit around and watch, BS with your friends, have a drink, have a sandwich, or you can go into the cabin and be nice and cool on a hot summer day and do the same thing. We have a full galley. Breakfast sandwiches in the morning, hamburgers, hot dogs for lunch, and then, some other things like chips, soft drinks, like that. Question that frequently comes up is, can I bring liquor on the Golden Eagle? You can bring beer and beer and wine, no hard liquor. You can bring soda too. All right, guys. Now, a couple other things of going on with the Golden Eagle. A bunch of us, Captain Len, like I said, myself, and a couple other people, have invested in two 45-foot tiki boats that just drive around the river in Belmar, and you can party on. They're hour and a half to 2 hour trips. There's 3 or 4 trips every day. You just go on a website, BelmarTikiBoats.com, and you can book a trip there. It's a fun hour and a half. Like I said, you bring BYOB. You can book a private trip. You can book just a small group and go with other people. The boats will hold between 35 and 40 people each, and it's really a great time. And you can do it early in the day, midday, early in the evening, sunset cruise, whatever. We also have a 31-foot Rampage, which is a small six-pack, what they call six-pack charter boat, that we run too, and that's goes up to the Highlands in this time of the year, let's say April, early May, and is striper fishing, and then it'll come back here just in time for sea bass season, which starts the 17th of May, which is only a week away. So that boat will be back here, and then we run that boat out of here every day. And again, small charters, up to 6 people. Got to go on its website, and you can charter that and book it there. That's called VictoriaMarieFishing.com. Right now, I am doing this in the middle of May, on May 10th, I believe it is. We are striped bass fishing, and we're in the string striped bass run. The string striped bass run has been okay. There has been some very, very good days. And then there's been some days when it has not been very good, which is a typical striped bass run for this, especially for the spring, where the water temperature plays havoc with you. It can warm up and cool off, and the bait can appear and disappear. I know if you think back to the fall of 2023, last year was one of the most phenomenal striped bass runs I've ever seen. I'm 71 years old, and it's the best I've ever seen. So I don't expect that I'll see that again. Even in 2022, it was a good run. It was very good, not compared to last year. So the fall run tends to be more consistent, and it can go from mid-October to January. Last year went right to January, but the weather was in our favor. The bass stayed around. The bait was plentiful. So those are the things that determine, what the bass run is like: water temperature, bait, and weather. And we had everything in our favor last year, and it just worked out fantastic. I mean, we had a lot of big fish, a lot of keeper-sized fish, and a lot of small fish. Let me go over to regs with you right now, because I'm continuously asked this question. At the moment, you can keep one fish between 28 inches and 31 inches. Fish over 31 inches is what we call an over, has to go back in the water alive. And a fish under 28 inches has to go back in the water alive. If you have a bonus tag, and the Golden Eagle does carry bonus tags, okay, we are fortunate that we have bonus tags, and we can, so far the supply has been pretty good. We've gotten a pretty good allocation. You can keep an additional striped bass between 24 and 28 inches. So you can, with a bonus fish, you can keep two, but you can't. But those are the rules. I know some people try to say, well, I can keep two No, you can't keep two bonus fish. One bonus tag, and then you have to have a fish that's in what I would call a slot fish, between 28 and 31 inches. You can also go to the state and get your own bonus tag. Costs you $2.50, not outrageously expensive. If you want to have one for yourself, just in case you happen to be fishing somewhere where they're not available, or the boat runs out. Although we haven't done that yet, but who knows? We're going to go very shortly. Going to go into our sea bass season, which starts on May 17th, which is a week from today. And sea bass season at the beginning of sea bass season, it is 10 fish at 12 and a half inches is the limit. The sea bass season closes, and I don't remember the exact date, but it's somewhere around June 18th, June 19th. So that's the 10 fish limit. Then it reopens on July 1st, but it's only open for a one fish limit, which is okay. You can keep a fish. And it stays that way until the end of August, when it closes. And then it opens again, and I don't have the exact dates in front of me, but in mid or beginning of October, and I think it's a 10 fish limit then. And then it changes in November to a 15 fish limit at 13 inches, and that is for the offshore sea bass season, which we have plenty of offshore trips scheduled. So after we at the beginning of a sea bass run, we will be sea bass fishing. If the bluefish start to show up during that time, because typically they do show up at the end of May and the beginning of June, we'll split our day between sea bass fishing and blue fishing. When we have our limit of sea bass, we'll go blue fishing. The striped bass, what generally happens with them is as the run goes on, the bigger fish show up. So while it's fun to go out and catch them, pretty much everything you catch has got to go back over the side. And we will do that from time to time. I mean, we will go out there and have fun catching them. But it's just, if you like fish, it's better to go sea bass fishing, and they're very tasty. Take some of them home and eat them. Same with the bluefish. And we will bluefish all the way through, once sea bass ends, all the way through the summer, July, August, September, usually sometime in late August, September, the bonita and the albacore start to show up, and we have fun with them. We also fish for them. Also, we have our offshore season starts in mid-July when we go offshore for the what we call our exotics trips. They usually start out with bluefin tuna, and then they kind of morph into some yellowfin and mahi and albies and bonita and anything else we can catch out there at that time of the year. Once September rolls around, we've got weekly 23-hour canyon tuna trips. On a canyon tuna trip, most of the time it's yellowfin tuna and longfin tuna. And we also have 2 offshore mahi trips, which are pure mahi trips. They're a lot of fun. It's just get to the canyon at daybreak and hit every buoy you can, and it's fun. You can catch a whole lot of them. You can have a great time, and you can bring home some fish. And you're home late in the afternoon, early in the evening, like 6 p.m. or so. So that's another thing to add. And then, like I said, we'll be the blues and the bonita and the albacore and the offshore trips until like mid-October when the striped bass show up again. Then we go into striped bass fishing, and we carry that all the way through until they disappear or December 31st comes, whichever happens first. Although in dispersed in between in December are at least weekly, sometimes twice a week, offshore sea bass trips. So we got a lot of things going on. And I didn't even mention our afternoon sunset cruise and fishing trips, which are it's great. It's great to take the family or friends or, just go out, you do a little fishing, you get a nice little cruise in the ocean, you watch the sunset. They depart at 4 p.m. Every day once the kids get out of school. It's from Memorial Day till then. It's only weekends. And they return about 7:30 in the evening. So it's a 3.5-hour trip, a lot of fun. What are we fishing for? Fluke, sea bass, whatever else. It's whatever else is around. People really love those trips. It's maybe your husband is a big fisherman and he goes fishing on these offshore trips, and you don't want to go on those because they're 23 hours long. So you say, okay, can we go on one of the little 3-hour trips? They're great, and they're home early enough that you can still go to dinner anywhere you want. So that's pretty much the schedule of how the whole season goes, and then we just go from there. When you come on the boat, you can book your reservation on our website. And if you need a rental rod, if that's a fishing pole, you can book a fishing pole right on the website. If you like spinning poles, you can book them. You like conventional rods, bait casters, some people like to call them, you can book that. Like I said early on, we have the galley, so you can buy stuff. If you have your own equipment and you need extra tackle, we have tackle on the boat. It's not a tackle store. It's the tackle specific to what we are doing. And generally speaking, our selection is small, but it works because this is what we're using. So let me go on to our striped bass fishing right now. It has been an up and down season, typically the way it is in the spring. I mean, we've had days when people have caught 8, 10, a dozen fish each. And we've had days when if I can find a fish for the boat, it's a lot of fish. Mostly the fish have been overs, keepers or overs. We have not seen too many shorts, which would equal bonus fish in a lot of cases, but we really haven't seen those fish yet. So it's been mostly overs when we catch them. Catch them on topwater stuff, shad, chartreuse, bunker, or white. On the plugs, really whatever, white, green, whatever you want to throw in there, it seems to be working. The jigs, a few on the jigs, but we really haven't seen a lot of fish on the jigs just yet. Maybe a function of the water temperature still being chilly at the bottom. So we'll see as that goes on. I know Fluke season opened on May 4th a few days ago, and the boats are not even fluking in the ocean yet because the water's still too cold in the ocean. You catch some of them in the rivers, but not in the ocean. You want to go fluking, that would be right now perfect opportunity for the Victoria Marine. You can stay in the rivers and catch some. So, and like I said, next thing on the agenda will be sea bass season, and that will be bait fishing or jig fishing. You can use jigs on them. Actually, jigs work quite good once you get the hang of it. And it just tends, I don't know, I've tended to see bigger fish on the jigs than the bait. But both things work. Both things let you catch plenty of fish, and the action's good, and that's what really matters. The temperature out there in the ocean lately, some days it's been hot, shorts weather. And yet you get a day like even today where it's sweatshirt, raincoats, it's cold. So it really has been bouncing around a lot. We haven't been consistent in our weather patterns yet. I guess that's about it for this podcast. I think we're calling it the Golden Hour, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to attempt to get them done weekly. Captain Len will join me for many of these. There's just so much going on right now, getting these boats all ready, that he's tied up today. But he will be here for a lot of them. He is a partner in the Tiki Boats. He's a partner in the Golden Eagle. And so he's a major player in this whole thing. And again, my name is Captain Rich. I'll be talking to you next week. Thank you for your time.